this. There we go. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate everyone being here this bright early in the morning for our first 2023 Agriculture and Consumer Affairs Committee meeting, and I'm excited about this year and excited about our committee. We got some great new members and returning members, and just looking forward to a great year trying to look at legislation that affects our agriculture and consumers in this great state of ours. I'd like to kick off this first meeting this morning. Ask my colleague Danny Mathis to open us up with a prayer. And Danny, I'd like to ask the committee to keep my family in your prayers. I lost my dad right around Thanksgiving, and he's the one that really got me engaged with farming and passionate about farming, and he's a great guy. He's 94, lives a wonderful life, and and he spent his whole career going around this country with different ag organizations promoting ag. He wanted everybody to succeed in agriculture. I don't care where you were growing peaches or pine trees or peanuts. It was he loved ag and what this great state, and I miss him, but he left a great legacy to me, and I just thank you for the prayers and thoughts from this committee and many of us across the street in the last few months. But he landed good, and job well done with him. So Danny, if you could start this committee off with a word of prayer.
Father, as we come to you today, we just thank you for the rain. We just thank you for the many people that are here to try to make good decisions on things that affect so many people. We just pray that you'd be with us, give us guidance and wisdom in that. Father, we do pray for the Dickey family and the loss of Mr. Dickey. We just what he's meant to the area there and the state. We just thank you for that, and the whole Dickey family. We appreciate that. Father, we just again reach out to you and let us be wise in the things that we do, and trust that you will give us guidance if we'll ask, and let us be good stewards with what we have here to do with, that we will always do your will and serve the people. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Well, we really don't have a tremendous amount on the agenda this morning, but I thought it was important we got together and see each other and get started while we had time early in the session. I know many of you are new and just sort of get a feel for our committee. So what I'd like, we got some, the agenda is really, I'm going to make some introductions, and some folks are going to come introduce themselves, but I want our committee to kind of introduce each other a little bit, tell the rest of the committee a little bit about yourself. Keep it short, but to the point. And I know those of you on this committee are here because you want to be. It's intentional, and I appreciate that. Agriculture is very, very important in this state, and I'm just really glad, as you see in this letter I put in your packet, we got a very diverse committee, and that's very positive, and I like that, and I'm glad, and we're going to work it that way. And then we're going to take up some rules that we need to for the committee to work this year. And then in the coming weeks, I don't know about next week, but we'll have different. I've invited our new commissioner to come address the committee in the next week or two and give an update. I'm letting him try to find his parking place over there first to see what he's doing, but Commissioner Harper will be here soon, and some other folks from different agencies or institutions. So looking forward to that, and I know bills are being dropped every day, and we'll keep an eye on those. My door's open anytime to any member right there on the second floor, and many of you have already been in to speak, and I just ask you to, got any ideas, I'll help you. We got some great staff here that I want to introduce first that will help you. Dave Barry, our league counsel that many of you know. Where's Dave? Thank you. Dave did a great job drafting legislation and perfecting legislation for us. So I ask you to lean on him for bills if you so desire. Courtney George is right here beside me, and I'm just excited to have her this year. Very experienced in our budget and research office, and she's going to be a great help to me, and excited. Thank you, Courtney, for doing this. I've got a very, very new administrative aide, Elise Wade. Where's Elise? There she is. Just started this week, and so glad to have her with her smiling face in our office, and she can help you with some things if you need to too. And then I've got Mariah Graves. Is Mariah there? There she is, our intern from Kennesaw. Yes. So she's been there for a couple of weeks. So thank y'all for all the help for this committee. And I have a vice chair sitting here right to my right, Joe Campbell. Congratulations on that. Thank you for doing that. And our newly elected David Hullerson from Roopville is our secretary. David, welcome to the Ag Committee and Legislature. So looking forward to working with y'all. And so we got a great committee going, and I'd just like to start there with my friend Emory Donahue, and just some introductions around the table. We'll go this way and then come to the lower group and just greet the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I love this committee. Actually, I think I've been on here now for about 10 of my 12 years. I was in logistics, owned a logistics company, storage business, and rental properties. Coming to now where I have a farm, but it's a small farm, I even enjoy this more. With my grandkids, we're beekeepers. I represent Hall County and Jackson County. My wife's a retired teacher and a coach. We call her the Chicken Whisperer. And it's one of those things that when you were in business like I was, you dealt with ag every day. But now every day I get up on the farm and not picking peaches or all the other things that the bigger guys do. But man, what a life. I love it and love being on this committee. And I think it's one of the best committees we have here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All right. I'm Stan Gunner, lawyer, retired mostly. I have a connection to agriculture through my wife's family. In fact, my nephew's sitting out in the audience out there. Jake, how you doing? I also have a rural district, probably like many of you, where agriculture is the number one business there. So I have an interest in agriculture, and I've asked to be on this committee in the past, and now I'm here, and I'm glad to be here. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. John Corbett, District 174, Lowndes, Eccles, Clinch, Ware, Charlton, and now Brantley County. Very rural area. Proud to serve it. Got, I think, the best district in the state. Chair of the Motor Vehicles Committee. Well, I picked up Brantley from Chairman Meeks, and he set the bar high for me, but looking forward to pick up where he left off there. But I also will be having a rural caucus lunch after session today, and I just would like everybody to know Commissioner Harper and his whole leadership team will be at lunch today. So please, come over, get a chance to meet. I know he's going to come speak at a later meeting here, but we can meet the whole leadership team at lunch today. So looking forward to seeing you there. Excited about this committee and the work we do to keep agriculture the number one industry in the state of Georgia. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, and glad to be here.
Chairman, Ray Martinez. I represent Walton County, Loganville, and then a little bit of Gwinnett County, Decula, District 111. It's an honor to be here, Chairman. As a freshman, the Ag Committee was one of the ones I picked, and thank you for choosing me. I'm retired Navy, 25 years, mayor of Loganville, and now, of course, in the Ag. I picked Ag because I really believe that Walton County is a agricultural county, and my predecessor Tom Kirby was in the Ag Committee, and one of the things he told me, if I do get blessed to get elected, to be in the Ag, so that's why. So I look forward to filling up his shoes. So thank you, Chairman.
Well, we're glad you are on this committee this year. Thank you. Tom was a good friend, and we miss him too, but certainly sent somebody very qualified. Next, Secretary David Huddleston.
Thank you, Chairman. David Huddleston from the West Georgia area, District 72, which consists of Carroll, Heard, and Troup counties. Full-time farmer of poultry, cattle, got a hay operation along with beekeeping. Number one, it's just great to be a part of this great committee because, like I said, been part of Ag for a long time, of a lot of statewide organizations, and just enjoy being an advocate for the Ag and the passion that we have because being the number one industry within the state. So thank you so very much for being a part of this committee, and look forward to serving.
Okay, next, my longtime friend, Representative Ken Vance.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Push a little red button.
There we go. I pressed a black one that turned red. Okay, I got it. I'm Ken Vance from Central Georgia, half of Baldwin County, Milledgeville, and half of Jones County. I was raised on a farm in Turner County, Georgia, next to Representative Yurda here, and I'm absolutely elated to be on this committee with these fine people and Chairman Dickey. So anything I can do to help the folks that do farm, mostly in Jones County, I'm going to try to do and help Georgia out as well. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Chairman,
Good morning. I'm Bill Yurda from District 152, Worth, Lee, and a portion of Daugherty County. Actually, Worth County, the peanut capital of the world. My wife and I are in the retail jewelry business. I was former Mayor Sylvester. Just a pleasure to be on this committee. Agriculture is so important to my district. I can tell in my business when farmers have a good year, I can assure you. But it's a pleasure to serve with Chairman Dickey, and he does a great job, and you'll enjoy working with him.
I think the wives have a better year, don't they?
That's right.
Okay. My vice chair, Joe Campbell.
Joe Campbell. I'm from very southwest Georgia, in Camilla, and my district is Mitchell County, Bainbridge area, Decatur County, and part of Grady. And I grew up absolutely in agriculture. I was probably 22 before I realized that there were jobs outside of agriculture. I thought it was 100%. But it's a very large agricultural area, a lot of peanuts, cotton, that sort of thing. My family, that's what I came out of, and spent my career in the peanut business. And very privileged to be on this committee because I think agriculture is huge in the state of Georgia, and I love it. And I appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you. I'll skip over myself a little bit, but my good friend, Representative Mandecia Thomas from South Fulton, if you could tell the committee a little bit. She's very passionate about agriculture.
I am. Greetings, everyone. I'm Andy Shea Thomas, state representative in the 65th district that covers Fulton, Douglas, and Coweta County. I live in the city of South Fulton, which was the last area that had all the unincorporated land. So I had a vested interest in that area and that it developed smartly, and that's how I actually got into agriculture.
Representative Bennett.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am Karen Bennett from House District 94. I represent parts of DeKalb and Gwinnett counties. I'm looking forward to working with all of the farmers and people who were raised in agriculture. I'm on the consumer side. My constituents are on the consumer side, so all of the crops and all of the things that you grow, I think it'll be a great opportunity to have some input from the consumer side as well. And also, I'm very interested in food equity, as Mr. Chairman knows, and urban ag. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Lewis Ward.
Good morning. I am Regina Lewis Ward. I represent Henry County, the cities of Stockbridge and McDonough. Unlike my colleagues, I did not grow up on a farm. I was probably in my late 40s before I went to my first farm. So my interest in agriculture is in healthy eating. And it's a pleasure to return to this committee, and I welcome all the new members.
Representative Cox. Oh, what number are you, 15?
15.
Okay.
Good. Brent Cox from City of Cumming, pretty much northeast Forsyth County over into Hall County. I guess two reasons that I was most interested in ag is, number one, after the primary runoff, I had the pleasure of going to Peaches and Politics, and once I saw Chairman Dickey's ice cream, I said, I'm all in. So that was some pretty good stuff, and we really want you to just keep bringing that to the Capitol. Number two, if you look at me, you can tell I enjoy eating the harvest of agricultural products. So I really enjoy food. So that's a pleasure. My grandfather, I grew up on a farm, and a lot of my relatives up in North Fulton at the time. So sweet potatoes, corn, tomatoes, watermelon, all that stuff, and cattle. So, and then relatives that were in the egg business back in the 70s when we had some issues with salmonella and all the things that occurred. So watching the ups and downs of the farming industry has been something in our family we've seen for many, many years. And in Forsyth County, I really want to hold on to touching Dawson and Hall, that we maximize our agriculture as well and support the people in South Georgia. So thank you, Chairman.
My good friend, Representative Danny Mathis from Cochran.
Yeah, I'm right in the middle of the state, middle Georgia, and I love it down there. That's God's country, down there where Clay Perkle's from. That's kind of off God's country. But anyway, I'm District 149. We serve Wilkinson County, Twiggs County, Bleckley County, Dodge County, and half of Telfair County. We grow kaolin up in the Wilkinson and Twiggs part, and we got every other kind of commodity you want. We got cotton, corn, peanuts. We grow a little bit of everything down there, and it's wonderful. Pecans. We even got peaches back in our hometown, Robert. So I'm really glad about that. And my experience, I grew up in Cochran, but I do live out in the county now. I have a few cows, and I don't know what I'm doing with them, but they look pretty. And I have a son that works for Triangle Chemical. He's good. And my colleague over here, Patty Bentley, and I, we are Southern planters. But what we plant, we're going to see when Jesus comes back. We're in the funeral business. So we do have an interest in that. So I am glad to be here. This is my third term, and I've been on this committee. And when I grow up, I want to be like Chairman Dickey, and I want to be like Chairman Perkle. So thank you so much.
Chairman Perkle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hate to absolutely follow that. My gosh. But I am a farmer. So I farm in Turner, Irwin counties. Representative Clay Perkle. I grow peanuts and cotton, butter beans. Please eat more butter beans, eat more peanuts, and wear a cotton shirt. And I raise cattle. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Willis, what number are you? There we go, 1.
Number 1. Good morning. I am Representative Inga Willis. I am honored to be on this committee as a freshman. I represent District 55, which is a piece of South Fulton, city of Atlanta, but my district represents every economic reality of the city. But my family is from Savannah, Georgia, and St. Mary's, Georgia. And I got to walk on a farm as a kid, but didn't get to walk back on one until I was an adult. I was interested in this committee because I had the pleasure of doing an agricultural technology project with HBCUs, which in this region are located in rural areas. And we saw for food deserts with container farming projects. So I got a chance to see technology and agriculture work for the good to provide fresh produce to historically black colleges and institutions. And I thought, what better way to extend that education than to sit with experts of space like yourselves, learn more, and see how I could bring agriculture into the food deserts of the city and see if there was some opportunity for synergy there. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, and I appreciate what you bring to this committee. Representative, what number? Two? Get it going? 3? There we go.
Okay, great. Good morning. I am Doreen Carter, and I represent House District 93. And I have the pleasure of probably one of the very few legislators that have rural, urban, and suburban in their district. So I'm really excited to be on ag. I native Atlantan, so I've been in Georgia all of my life, but my family is from Greene County. So we actually did go out to the farm when we were kids. Hated it, because they still had outhouses. Tell you how old I am too. But then after coming to the legislature, I had an opportunity to go out to Iowa to an urban agriculture conference, and it just totally blew my mind how different agriculture is versus what I grew up seeing. So I've been very excited about opportunities to bring more awareness to young people about agriculture and technology. But why I wanted to come on this committee, one, to make sure that I'm serving my district that are farmers, but more than anything, I wanted to ensure that we have healthy food, because if we don't have health, we don't have anything. And I've learned from experience that food is our medicine. So I am really excited to be here to be an advocate for my constituents and to encourage more access to young people in agriculture. So thank you for allowing me on the committee.
Well, thank you, and I can promise you, you're not the only one that has a diverse district like that. I think many of us on here, I certainly do, go all the way from the city of Warner Robins to my hometown of unincorporated Musella. So we've got a great diverse state and population. So thank you for being here. Next is my neighbor and good friend, Representative Patty Bentley, who's the second member of our funeral caucus on this committee. So we've got many sub-caucuses amongst here, but Representative Bentley.
Well, good morning. I am the Strawberry Queen and the chair lady of the Funeral Home Caucus. Yes, but this is my 11th year in the House of Representatives, and I've been on the Agricultural and Consumer Affairs Committee from day one, and I requested to be on this committee, and I was very grateful that my request was honored by the late, great Speaker David Rolliston. My district is very heavily agriculture, serving Dooley County, Taylor County, Macon County, the city of Fort Valley, now Andersonville, and the city of Americas. And I have a very interesting fact, which is now I represent House District 150, which is formerly represented by the current Appropriations Chair, Matt Hatchett. And my former district number was 139, which is now being served by the chair of the Rules Committee, Richard Smith. So I stand in the midst of some, in the middle of some really interesting points there. So I intend to use my points occasionally to help me out sometimes. But at any rate, At any rate, I am very grateful to be on this committee and look forward to serving with all of you. And welcome to our new members. This is a really good committee to be on, and we're so glad to have you. And you're going to learn a lot of good information of how you can better serve your community and the great state of Georgia. So thank you. And I have to leave shortly, Mr. Chair, for another committee meeting, if that's okay.
Thank you. Next, Representative Mike Cameron from Rossville, way up in northeast Georgia.
Is it working?
Okay, I got you now.
Yeah, good morning. First, it's an honor to sit next to the Strawberry Queen and chair lady of the Funeral Home Caucus. Yeah, I have to make sure and get that out. I'm Mike Cameron. I represent Walker, a lot of Walker, and all the independent state of Dade. And if you want to ask me about the independent state of Dade, we can talk about that later. Agriculture is a huge business in Walker County, but my background is regulatory and health insurance. I spent over 3 decades in that. But Walker County, $80 million a year agribusiness, plus those dollars circulating into other businesses. So agriculture drives the economy of Walker County, and it does a lot of Dade as well. And it's an honor to be on this committee. It's the first one that I asked the late chairman, the late Speaker Ralston for, because it's just a great committee to be on. And the Chairman Dickey is wonderful to work with. And I think, Brett, you forgot strawberries and pecans also that you can get at Dickey Farms, but I'm not advertising anything. But it's an honor to be on this committee. I work with food banks and with small farmers, a lot of them, trying to get food out to people who don't have food. Plus, young people, we passed a bill last year getting young people involved in learning where their food comes from. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman Meeks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Stephen Meeks. I represent House District 178 down in southeast Georgia, which is truly God's country because we have just about anything you can grow down in our part of the state. I'm a cotton, tobacco, peanut grower on a family farm there, 3rd generation, as well as a lot of a good bit of timber. I've spent my career advocating for agriculture both at the federal and state level in one way or another. So, Mr. Chairman, it's certainly a pleasure to continue to serve on this committee with you and your great leadership.
Representative Leverett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Rob Leverett. I'm from Elberton, the granite capital of the world. I represent District 123, which my fellow representative said, well, we know you can count that high, so maybe you can remember your district number now. But I have the pleasure of representing all of Elbert, Wilkes, and Lincoln counties and part of Madison and a few precincts in Columbia County. And I've had the honor of serving on this committee during my first term, and I'm so glad to be placed back on it again. I will say to our the freshmen on the committee, there are a lot of great committees to be on, but on this one, a lot of the people that come present to us bring us food, and that is something you don't really get to say about a lot of other committees. So that's a great perk of being on this committee. And I'm an attorney in Elberton, so like Representative Cox, I don't grow anything, but I've made quite a mission in my life of consuming the products of the industry. And I think Representative Meeks tell you, I do so in greater volume than most people you'd ever see. So I'm glad to be on this committee again. It's a vital industry in my district, which is largely rural and predominantly agriculture. So I'm glad that I have an opportunity to serve my constituents by my service on this committee. Thank you.
Chairman Camp. Good morning. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, and I'm excited to serve on this committee again this session for a number of reasons. I am a farmer. I'm a very small farmer. We have a beautiful Angus beef herd, and I had the privilege last year of learning how to AI cows, so I am fully invested in these cows. Fully invested. My grandparents were row crop farmers in Middle Georgia, and I still have cousins who are farmers. Even though he's not here, obviously I am. My husband is a nationally certified crop advisor, and he was in agribusiness for his entire career before retiring. So agriculture supported our family. And so I know how important it is. On another side of it, though, this is also consumer affairs. I am a real estate broker by trade, and we're in the process of opening a farm-to-table restaurant. So it's exciting to see all the opportunities we have in the state to make sure that agriculture remains our #1 industry. So thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Chairman.
By the way, she and her husband put on a rodeo
Yes, sir, we
You
do.
didn't mention that.
Oh, we do a
That's
rodeo
it.
every
if
year.
y'all ever get a
anyone would like
chance to go
come.
to a rodeo, when is it?
I believe this year it's going to be in November.
Okay, well, it's a great affair up there, and they do a great job. So, thank you, Representative Hagan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lisa Hagan. I represent the 156th district, which is 6 counties now in South Georgia, including Toombs County, the home of the Vidalia Onion Festival. And I'll go ahead, as I will do many times throughout the next few weeks, invite you all to come down towards the end of April to the festival. It'll be a memorable time for you, I'm sure. My background is education, though, so I'm very interested in supporting 4-H programs, FFA, so that we can get our young people educated about ag and involved in agriculture as early as we can grab them. Also, being down in South Georgia where I am, my district is certainly dominated by agriculture and forestry. So I'm very thankful to be on this committee for that reason. And I'll also mention that I am the Sweet Onion Queen. So I'll just put that out there for y'all.
Chairman Darlene Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Darlene Taylor. I represent District 173, Thomas and Grady County. I hail from Thomasville, the City of Roses, and we do lots of horticulture, and we also grow trees and row crops and everything else in the district. And it's very important to this state. I think we all know that. I have another little job. I represent the caucus that Patty belongs to. I carry their legislation for them. Thank you.
Thank you. We've had one other member walk in, Representative David Jenkins. And if you tell us a little bit about yourself. Welcome to the Ag Committee. David told me a couple of years ago he wanted to be on the Ag Committee. He was disappointed he didn't get it his first freshman year. So we're glad the Speaker and Committee on Assignments saw the need for you to put on here. Looking forward to working with you.
All right. Yeah, David Jenkins, Representative House District 136. My district has peaches and small fruits, a lot of shrubbery produced there, landscaping supplies. It's very diverse, and cattle and horses. I grew up, I spent my earliest days on a dairy farm, and we did a handful of other things since then. Currently, I would say more than anything, I produce meat goats on my farm. We have a lot of meat goats, and we're getting into cows as well. Retired from the Army, and I didn't waste that opportunity. When I was stationed Fort Campbell, Kentucky, big tobacco area, which although we don't grow that there, a lot of their practices were very, very interesting to learn how things are done in other places. Agriculture typically is very regional, and to get out of the region and see a different side of the business was very enlightening. But my primary interest is, of course, understanding what a large industry agriculture is for the state of Georgia. But also our family farmers. We got to look after our small producers and our family farmers, which is primarily in my region, in the Piedmont area, is what our agriculture is primarily composed of. So again, I appreciate having the opportunity to be on this committee, and I look forward to serving.
Okay, thank you. And it's the only other person left is myself, and I thought I'd do the same. And this is my second term as agriculture chairman, and it's a really honor to chair this committee. I've been in the legislature. This is my 7th term, I think. Several of us came in together. But I'm a 4th or 5th generation farmer right in the middle of Georgia, a little small town of Musella, and primarily peaches, but we have a lot of timberland, and we've grown a lot of strawberries and pecans now. My son is so glad he's back on the farm doing a great job, and we're doing a lot of agritourism, a lot of diversification with our farm, retail, mail order, all those type great things. And so it's a lot going on at Dickey Farms year-round now, instead of just primarily a peach farm. And so I've just, as I might have said, I've had a passion for agriculture my entire life, involved in National Peach Organization, Farm Bureau, Georgia farm organizations, and just glad to be in this position to promote agriculture in this state and consumers. Everybody has to eat. I mean, not everybody farms and grows, but everybody has to eat it. So and we do want great, fresh, and healthy food for our population, and I think our large industry is essential for food security and for our population. So I hope we can look at all those things this year. We don't know what'll come through here. So thank you all for being here this morning, this rainy morning. We're going next thing I'd like to do, and I'm going to introduce some other people here shortly, but I think before it gets such a late hour, we need to look at our committee rules. They should be in each of you. I know they're in each of your packets. If you would take a look at those and be familiar with those, they'll stay in your packet. But not much different than any other rules that most committees have. Just straightforward. I'm pretty open to discussion, sometimes to a fault, but I like to hear from our members and people in the audience testifying. So we'll make sure that happens at the appropriate time. So I would like at this time, if there's are there any questions about these rules? If there are no questions, I'd like a motion to okay. Okay, Representative Corbett. This is the proper time.
Adopt the rules that's in our package.
I have a motion. I have a second by Representative Taylor. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on the rules? Call for a vote. All in favor of these rules, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. No opposed. These are our rules for this house for this year. Thank y'all. I've got a few people I see in the audience that I work with very closely, and this committee works very closely with. It's not everyone, but they are very important organizations statewide in this state, and I'd like for them to come up to the podium and maybe say a couple words about their organization and what's going on. Georgia Agribusiness Council, Will Bentley and Jake Tench are there, and I think you've got a couple of events coming up. But tell them a little bit about your Agribusiness Council, if this crowd is not, some of them might not be familiar with you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee members, for allowing us to be here and work with y'all. We advocate on pretty much every sector of agriculture and agribusiness in the state. Representative Mathis, I look forward to a new growth opportunity in your industry for membership. It sounds like we need to learn a little bit more about those southern planters. But I am with the Georgia Agribusiness Council, and I want to introduce Jake Tench. He's our Director of Government Affairs right there. And then also our legislative intern, Riley Grady, who's from Dalton at the University of Georgia as a sophomore. So she'll be here learning about the legislative process and ag policy. But we do have an event next week. If y'all hadn't already received an email from Jake this morning or late last night, but we have a legislative breakfast at the Freight Depot next Wednesday morning that all of y'all are invited to. We hope you take the time to come out. We'll have some folks from pretty much every district in the state will be there. Our membership is pretty wide, spanning from every corner of the state and even into Fulton County and other metro areas. So again, we just appreciate the work that y'all do. We obviously think this is the top committee in the legislature, and obviously the best industry, #1 industry in the state of Georgia. So appreciate y'all serving.
Thank you, Will. Jake Matthews from Georgia Farm Bureau, from all over our state, and I am a former county president of Georgia Farm Bureau, so very proud of Farm Bureau and what they do across our state. And welcome, thank you for your help and support. The former president, former chairman of this committee is president of Georgia Farm Bureau, Tom McCall from Elberton, and I think many of you know Tom, and did a great job with this committee and many years in the legislature. So thank you for your organization and presence up here every day at the Capitol.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Appreciate y'all letting us join y'all throughout the session and be here to discuss issues that are important to agriculture. Like the chairman said, Jake Matthews with Georgia Farm Bureau. We represent over 240,000 members all across the state. And it includes growers and producers of every single commodity that's grown in the state. So that's what we were founded upon 85 years ago, was to be the voice for agriculture, be the voice for farmers in the legislative arena. 85 years later, we're still doing that today, and that's our main purpose. I do want to introduce Adam Bellflower. He's joined on with us here at Farm Bureau full time, so you'll be seeing both of us around the Capitol, and we look forward to working with y'all throughout this year. If there's anything we can do, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Mr. Chairman, thank you again. Appreciate y'all letting us be here with you today.
Thank you. I see my friend Brian Tolar from Georgia Urban Ag Council. Brian, welcome.
Well, good morning, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity to be with y'all and to say a couple of quick words. I am Brian Tolar with the Georgia Urban Ag Council, and I appreciate all the comments this morning. There's a lot of talk about food, and the Urban Ag Council does not produce food. We produce everything that you don't eat. You could eat it, but I'm going to recommend that you probably don't gnaw on your grass or eat your rose bushes, but it is a $10 billion industry in the state of Georgia, very focused in urban areas, but the plant production aspect of it is very rural. So every district that's represented in the General Assembly has landscaping and has urban agriculture in it. And it's a growing industry. Population growth certainly leads to increased production in landscape materials. And there's a lot of innovation from the University of Georgia. Also working with the university system all across the state. Fort Valley is a big part of that with their role with Extension as well. So we're proud of those connections, the diversity of the workforce, the diversity of the job opportunities and career fields. So we are a workforce magnet, and we always need workers, and like every other industry. But we're excited to hear the discussions for this committee, both on the agriculture and the consumer affairs aspect of it, and also working on natural resource issues with Chair Lady Smith and her committee, and I know some of y'all serve on that committee as well. So I'm around the Capitol pretty much every day, and I look forward to working with each of you, and please feel free to let me know how we can be of assistance to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. I don't see Dale Sandlin, our Georgia Cattlemen Association. He was here yesterday, and he's here most days. He's certainly available, resource anytime you want to. We also, Georgia Forestry Association is who I interact with a good bit. Andres Vegas and great association. We got so many great associations connected and intertwined with agriculture in this state and environmental, and I really appreciate Georgia Poultry Association, represented by Mike Giles and Abbott Massey, are not here today. They have a huge poultry show at the World Congress Center. That poultry's probably our biggest ag, Emory, in our state. I hate to say it's not peaches, but I believe it's poultry.
Hall County is the poultry capital of the world, and Georgia, pretty much every year, people come from all over the country to come down here and talk about chickens. But there was a challenge of one of my constituents yesterday at Rural Caucus, provided peach pies, cherry pies, and apple pies. So that would be a great challenge to see Dickey Farms peach pie show up.
Well, thank you. Has anybody else on the committee got anything? We're very close to wrapping up here. I've got one other announcement. I have scheduled a caucus, a committee dinner for February 7th. I want you to put it on your calendar. We've done it early in the year this year so we could all kind of be together. So the entire committee is invited, and including spouses. We'd love to have any other spouse or significant other to attend. It's will be at 6:30 on Fogo de Chao, and we've got a host that will buy a dinner there. It's a great place, a great tradition that this committee's done for several years. February the 7th. out on Piedmont, and so we'll gather there. You'll get other announcements and invitation for that at the proper time. 6:30. The Forestry Association has an event down at the depot that afternoon as well. I hope you can, those who want to go to that can do that, and then we'll gather out at Fogo at 6:30 and probably eat around 7 or something like that. But figure we'll all staff and members, and I want you to RSVP too. It's a big crowd. We got a big committee. If you could RSVP to my office and sort of give us an idea if you're coming or not. So, any other? Who's 17? Anybody else? Representative Lewis Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The third week in March kicks off Agriculture Week, and save the date, March 21st. It will be Women in Agriculture Day at the Capitol. We will celebrate all women in agriculture. Everyone is invited. Thank you.
Okay.
21st.
Well, I appreciate everyone getting up early and being here, and I hope we all have a great day. I don't know when we'll schedule another meeting. I hope to try to do most Wednesday mornings at 8 o'clock, so everybody kind of be on a schedule and not have conflicts with other committees. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. So here, meeting adjourned. Thank y'all.